But like,
Yeah.
I don't have enough milk.
That just speaks to weakness of character.
I know.
Come on!
Oh, yeah.
Sugar's got the Rona.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
That's what you get for spending time behind the dumpster. Karma isn't just the name of a stripper. Yeah, I'm going to feel real bad if it turns out you actually do got the Rona.
The Rona. That's still out there?
I'll bring you chicken soup and leave it outside your door and knock and run.
Yes.
Come on!
I really want to turtle wax Andrew's head.
You gotta get one of those bowling ball shiners.
Just stick him in there. I want to get him while he's asleep, so when he wakes up, it's just super shiny and he blinds his kids with the sun.
Come on!
It's the baby. It's the baby right here.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the show. It is Wednesday. It's our last show of the week, so it'll be a good one today. I have a feeling. Usually it is, especially the last one. This portion of the show brought to you in part by Bear Auto Detailing, brand new in the Toledo area. You want to get a great auto detail at starting at just $20. Go to Andrew Z as a keyword for special deals. Alufka, all natural skincare and household cleaners, reusable household products, natural toothpaste, body scrubs, soaps, lotions, essential oils, and so much more. Lufka, all natural, Country Charm shops in Perrysburg. Glick Electrical Services, providing services to both commercial and residential clients. Our services range from installing simple light fixtures to installing generators in factories. Do it all to provide you the best service you deserve. Call today. And by New Power Property Services. They clean, they disinfect your house, your business, your condo, your rental, your restaurant. Give them a call, New Power Property Services.
What about sex dungeons?
They will definitely disinfect your sex dungeon, Kris. I know. Don't try to say a friend, because we
Probably
know
it will cost more.
That's just discrimination.
Yeah, it may cost a little more, especially for yours. I don't know what the hell's down there.
Oh.
Let's get started.
Well, it's definitely not any women.
Well, not willingly.
And now,
Jesus.
presentation. This is Epic
Piss poor job when they're crying.
Oh my God.
Too far?
No.
Always.
In the morning.
Time to wake up. Andrew Z. In the morning. Yeah.
Come on.
Come on.
Shut up.
Welcome to the show, everybody. It is Wednesday, June 17th, 2010, 2020, 2010, 2020 in the year of our Lord.
I mean, I just took a little 2-hour nap. Did I wake up 10 years in the past?
Chris Tiefel, Jake Dickey, Sugar Vermont, Toledo's Diva,
Yes.
and also Gina, Southside Gina will be joining us as well. So stick around for that. There she is right there. Let's get this show started, everybody.
Every other city gets
Dude,
wildly elegant women and stuff to be considered. This is our diva, and then we get dumpster lady.
First of all, I am an elegant woman, so write that down in your journal.
We're all
That's first
seeing
of
the
all.
same picture, Sugar.
Gina, what is
But
going
don't I look elegant?
Yeah, sure. What is going on with your hair, dude? What is,
She
what are you
just
doing?
proved it's 2010. She went 10 years back.
Oh my god.
Like a fat anime.
Dude,
Fatime?
dude.
Fatime. It's a new genre. Fatime.
At what age do we stop wearing pigtails? At what age?
Listen,
What age did you start losing your hair?
I want to talk about this for a second, Andrew.
Yes.
You're going to talk to me about a woman about what she should do with her hair while you're sitting there bald, fat, and ancient.
Oh, shit.
No.
Well, excuse me?
No, you don't get
Wow.
that. At what age should we stop?
16?
Whatever the F age I feel like stopping.
16?
I'll be 82 rocking pigtails. Your age. I don't care.
I feel like 82 would be really weird.
You don't think it's weird now? She's 50.
Well,
She's
you're
50.
You're 50, but okay. He said it like it's old. He said his own age like that's old.
Shut up, God.
It's hot. I just got back from walking.
Yeah.
I did. I'm trying to be less fat, unlike you.
Do you put your hair in
So you-
ponytails to walk?
So you went put your hair in
Well-
pigtails
Because
to go for a walk.
no, they make handles for the family when they ride her.
Oh, my God.
Right.
It's been like this all day because it's hot. It's hot out, and I'm fat, so it keeps it off my neck.
It's like, come on, kids, let's get on mom. She's going for a walk.
Oh, my
Come on. Did you hold on to the pigtails?
Oh, my God.
Did
You
you-
guys are
Did you just
today.
insinuate she was a horse? Horses don't have
Yeah.
handles.
Mhm.
I'm almost positive he's talking about elephant rides, but whatever.
Hey, listen.
Fine.
Go ahead,
If
Jake.
Andrew was a character in Star Wars, he'd be a Ton.
What?
This
Smells even
Patrick
worse on the
Star
inside.
grew. Patrick Star grew looking, bald headed.
Who's Patrick
I mean-
Star?
You look like Patrick Star, like
Who
all
is that?
pointy head and bald and pink
SpongeBob
and
SquarePants.
fat in the middle.
Oh,
You
I
need
don't know.
Patrick the Starfish?
He's the one about to burn SpongeBob
name's
in effigy because he's gay
Patrick
now.
His name is Patrick Star.
I didn't even know that. I'm a bad homo.
Exactly. We didn't know that, so the joke's not funny, Gina.
I got it.
Much like your entire radio personality. Not funny.
So he was gay and his best
jeez.
friend was a starfish? I get it.
Yeah.
Get it like a butthole.
Oh,
I really do hope they really do ham-fisted storylines now, where
Oh my
like
God.
where like Patrick is kind of a homophobe because he literally lives under a rock, so it like just practically writes itself on there.
So today, women be planting.
Like flowers?
Yeah, dude, I don't get it. Like, I just don't understand.
I thought he was talking about arguments.
No, women be planting. Like, so they want to plant.
Women be planting.
Especially in Ohio, because I told my mom, I'm like, okay, well, you're going to plant all these plants, and in a month, they're going to be no good. And you're like, what did you just do? You spent all that time and money planting flowers for basically a month in Ohio, because it's going to be winter in like a month.
Are you judging your mother?
Well, because then my mom wants to plant, so then guess who has to plant? I guess who has to help? I gotta help.
Help your mother. Spend time with her.
I know, but I just don't.
You freaking animal.
but planting, I just don't understand the concept. Like, guys aren't out there. Oh, and then it's hard work. Like, my mom would be out there for hours and hours and hours, and then I could tell she's getting mad or tired. Or I'm like, well, but this is a task you didn't have to do. You took it on yourself. I don't.
She's trying to make your home look prettier. It's called curb appeal, and maybe Perrysburg won't treat you like their bitch if they like your house.
Maybe you're right. But is there, Tifo, what about you? Or, no, Jake, what about you? Did you plant anything for the season?
Planting tulips on this ass.
Exactly.
I ain't planting anything, man.
Exactly. The only thing dudes are planting is weed. That would be the only.
I'm not even doing that. Jesus.
I'm just saying in general, like dudes don't be planting.
Comes from the
Don't
store,
be
right?
planting.
I stopped
listen.
by Andrew's house today to help Colleen out with some stuff, and he was helping his mom in the yard. You guys, he was raking the mulch. That I've never seen anybody sweat so badly doing nothing in my life. Like, he raked like 3 times. He looked like he was just jumped out the shower. He was pouring sweat.
First off,
It was amazing.
It was 4 cubics of mulch.
4 cubic feet, you guys. It was
Yes.
4
So
cubic
is this
feet.
okay, 4 cubic feet. I was going to say, what is this, the Bible, and we're building an ark?
Right? I was like, cubits. Did they
It'd be
measure the
72
pyramid in
cubits by 42.
It was 4 cubic feet. That's a lot of mulch. Took care of all
Doesn't
of it.
sound like a lot of mulch.
It's not.
It's a ton. Shut up. God, I'm so done with it. Is the show over yet? What time is it? 9:08. That's it. So here's the other thing. So Quaker Oats got rid of Aunt Jemima today. Aunt Jemima syrup will be no more because of the Black Lives Matter movement. And
I'm actually impressed by this one.
why?
Because of all the corporate responses to the whole situation now, this one actually hurts them. By changing by rebranding, changing their name and design of the bottle and everything, most of their sales are most likely right now due to brand recognition. They're changing their entire brand. They're actually making a sacrifice, not doing it for altruistic reasons.
Well, think about
they're making a sacrifice.
And think about how many millions of dollars they spent in promotions over the last 100 years in building the Aunt Jemima brand. And you're right.
The question is, whoever they replace her with, is she still going to be dummy thick?
She better be. I'm not buying syrup from some skinny bitch. No.
Right?
She better have a thickness. She better know how to butter them pancakes.
Exactly. Well, and then I'm like, okay, well, the company is Quaker Oats, and they've got the Quaker dude on the front. Is there anything offensive about the Quaker dude? Does he got to go too, or can he stay?
So me and my sister just had the same argument at dinner.
Did you?
Like, yeah, she was like, I was like, that's Quaker is like a religion. It's not a race. Like, you can't get pissed off about that.
Oh, okay.
And she was like, well, it's religion. I can get pissed off about religion.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, but like, really? I mean, let this one go. Just
let the Quaker guy go. So the Quaker
Let
guy
this
can
one
stay
go.
on the oats, right? But Aunt Jemima's got to go.
Quakers never hurt no one.
Quakers are nonviolent. That's their whole thing. They're pacifists. Nobody's gonna get pissed off at the Quaker
And-
guy.
I'm sure they're farmers who farm oats, so I think it's okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right, I'm just checking.
and they helped out with the Underground Railroad.
They did?
Yeah, some did.
I learned something new today.
Didn't know that.
Also,
No idea.
yeah, Quakers are super nonviolent and everything. Heck, and they're also they're also kind of heroes in the whole Handmaid's Tale thing too, because they hide handmaids so they're running away.
But that one's fiction, though.
You
Important
shut up!
distinction.
You shut up, ma'am!
Well, here's the other thing about Aunt Jemima that there's people that are like, oh, the left, oh, just cancel everything now, blah blah blah. But then when you hear the story of Aunt Jemima, it's really a bad story. I mean, she was Aunt Jemima was born from a minstrel show, which is basically a blackface show, and Aunt Jemima is like it's like a stereotypical word for a black person that's something. So
did you call it a minstrel show?
That's not what it's called?
That's what it's called. Where blackface originated.
Yeah.
Menstrual? Like
No,
Not
minstrel.
minstrel.
M-I-N.
Oh, okay,
my
okay.
God, I cannot.
We need it. Sometimes we just need to nip that.
I
stuff
was like,
before
what?
it gets out of hand.
I was like, I didn't know there was such a thing as a menstrual show. That sounds
Sounds disgusting.
You know, total side note, there is a lady that does a whole art installation where she shoves yarn up there during the white yarn during her cycle.
Oh, come on.
I'm just saying.
Gina.
okay. Back to Aunt Jemima. I feel more comfortable about that story.
It's a thing, you guys. It's a thing.
So anyway, so kudos to Quaker Oats. It should have been done. The whole thing is a big old negative connotation and goes back to slave days and stuff. So that's okay. So
God, now I want pancakes.
I know, right? But at what point does it become too much? Uncle Ben. What about Uncle Ben? He's the black dude on the right.
There's a good story behind Uncle Ben, as far as I know.
But they are changing it.
What, they are?
Oh, okay.
Uncle Ben's going too?
They announced later on today that they're changing that as well. They're making changes. They didn't specify what.
Huh. Okay. What about?
I don't know what
Spider-Man Uncle Ben.
Do you know the story, Tifo? The Uncle Ben story? Because I heard somebody said something.
I do not.
It's a good story, you said?
That's what I heard. Hold on.
All right, well,
Watch it be awful, like horrible, and I'm spreading terrible lies.
Well, look that up, and then we'll go on to the next one. What about Columbus Day? Columbus Day.
No, that's got to go.
It's got to go.
He didn't even discover America. Why do we care?
I know.
He discovered the Caribbean.
Well, first off, he didn't. He got lost. First off, number one. Number two, you can't discover land that's where people are already living. You didn't discover
that argument right there. I want to nip that one in the bud.
Which one?
All right, you can discover something to other people there because you
They
didn't
were
know it
already
was
there.
No, he discovered it for himself in Europe.
So I didn't
he
know.
didn't know it was there. I discovered it. If I find a new noodle shop that I didn't know about, I discovered a new noodle shop.
Okay, so if I discover your apartment, if I don't know where your apartment is, and I discover
Then you
it,
discovered where my apartment is.
and I can kick you out and take it over,
But he doesn't get to get a holiday for discovering your apartment.
or you with a noodle shop either. Well, and here's
Well, no, I'm not saying anything about getting a holiday. I don't care. Get rid of the holiday. He didn't discover America. Why we were celebrating him? Whatever.
Well, and the other
But
thing, the
the whole
is,
idea that you can't discover something other people already discovered is BS.
You're already there. I can't kick you out of your apartment and say I discovered it if you were already there.
That's not what discovery means. Discovery doesn't mean I went there and then genocided you. Discovery means I found
That's what he
something
did.
new to me.
But that's what he did.
That's what he did. But discovery means I found something new to me.
All right, so we agree we got to get rid of Columbus Day because he also then brought his nasty diseases over and killed all the Indians and then sent some back to Spain to be sold, and he was really nasty to the Indians. So, indigenous people. So we got rid of. So Columbus Day's got to go. Gone with the Wind. Gone with the Wind.
No,
it's a movie.
First of all,
it's 100-year-old. It's almost 100-year-old movie.
Right, and on top of that, Gone with the Wind for its time was considered far too liberal. At its time, it was considered far too liberal. It was banned by the Catholic Church.
Well, and it's an Oscar.
So you have to take things. Yeah, you have to take things in consideration of the time when they were made.
Well, I think so. Some of that you do. It really has to be a case by case basis. You can't just blanket all the way across. The other thing too is Hattie, the one that played the slave in Gone with the Wind. She won an Oscar. We gave her an Oscar. The Academy gave her an Oscar.
Yeah, that argument doesn't sound really good, but we gave her an Oscar, so she should be grateful.
Well, we as in the people, because we. All right, go ahead, Gina.
It's not. Nobody's doing away with Gone with the Wind. It's not on the chopping block. It's not going anywhere. They're going to keep streaming it. The only thing they're talking about with Gone with the Wind is adding a disclaimer that there is, that this is
Gina, specifically, it was on HBO and they took it off.
Yeah, HBO Max pulled it.
But wait, and they didn't announce that they were going to put that disclaimer on until there was huge backlash because they took.
I guess it
really they did just win.
Yeah, it really has to be a case by case basis because, I mean.
Well, and I don't understand the argument either because it's a movie.
Go ahead.
Like movies aren't. It's not considered a documentary. That's not how they're saying Gone with the Wind is. I mean, it's a fictional movie. Yes, it's very dated when we try to think of it in modern terms. But I mean, nothing has to be that way in movies unless you're saying it's a documentary.
Well, when it comes to this movie, quite frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
But I think too, till we get it right, it's like the Me Too movement. It was like 9/11, Remember when 9/11 first happened?
Me Too and 9/11. Where's this going?
Well, in 9/11, we overcompensated and we said all movies are banned that had the Twin Towers in it. And with Me Too, we went far, and there were some people that got swept up into it. Like you look like maybe an Al Franken may have got swept up into it. So there's always going to be overcorrection at the beginning, and we'll see where it lands once the fervor is over. What about the Redskins? Redskins, they got to go, right? I mean, that's an obvious. Go ahead, Jake.
I think that I actually just talked about this with my sister at dinner when we were in this discussion.
Your discussion with your sister went from the Quakers to the Redskins?
Well, yeah, we were talking just about like things that like basically having this conversation. It's like deja vu for me. And so I said I thought the funniest thing, and I guess this could come off how I'm about to say this, like kind of an asshole, but like it's not meant to be. But like everyone wants them to change, and I thought I've said for years, I think the funniest things that the Washington Redskins could do is just change their logo to a potato. And they could still be the Washington Redskins, and that's the biggest passive aggressive F you to everybody.
Well, it's like remember when Beaners had to change?
I said the same thing to my sister. I go, it's Big B coffee, because like you can't call Mexicans beaners, you asshole.
I still call Bigsby's Beaners.
I
swear to God, I just had this identical conversation 3 hours ago.
I don't know a single Mexican that was offended by that in the name
Beaners?
of that coffee shop. Not one.
In context, everybody knew they were talking about coffee beans.
Coffee.
There isn't anyone that thought they were talking about Mexicans. Like there's no way if you would have got if you got that connotation, there's something wrong with you.
It's not like they were calling them wetbacks. Like
Jesus.
Just wow,
Right.
just
Wow,
throw out the hard W right there.
I know,
but like
not even with the A at the end.
When all of that first started,
Oh my God.
most of my Mexican friends were like, "Wait, what?" Like
know.
it didn't even dawn on them that was insulting to that should have been insulting.
Yeah,
I worked at Beaners. I worked there when it was taken over, or when it took over Sufficient Grounds back in the day. Remember Sufficient Grounds? It was like in Sylvania and in Cricket West.
No.
Yes, actually, I kind of do remember that.
Jake's sister's going to call in, you guys. Jake's sister's going to be calling in.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
All right, so
I
hey,
was there back then, and I remember they were like, "Oh, it's Beaners Gourmet Coffee." I was like, "Okay, whatever, that's a stupid name." But I remember the girl next to me. She's like, "Doesn't that mean Mexicans?" I was like, "What?"
So you found one that was offended. Go ahead, Tifa.
I was going to say my high school was the Fullerton Indians, and we had our mascot was a Native American, full headdress, the thing, and all that. And we actually had the same guy who keeps protesting the Cleveland Indians come out to California and protest us. He went on a hunger strike, like right outside our school. We just ate our lunch in front of him.
You ate your lunch in front of him.
And he wanted us to change. And after I left, a few years after I left high school, they did change the mascot. It's still the Fullerton Indians, but they made
changed it to like Gandhi.
But no, they made the yeah, that'd be great. They made the mascot a water buffalo. So it's like, hey, we're going to call ourselves the Indians, and then our mascot is going to be an animal they depended on that we wiped off the face of the planet.
Go ahead, Jay.
Because that's better.
That was also a plot of Mighty Ducks 3 because they were the Eden Hall Warriors. And so there was an actual scene where they were petitioning to get the Warrior name changed because it was offensive. And then at the end, you see the banner drop down. It's the Mighty Ducks logo, and now they're the Eden Hall Mighty Ducks.
Did you have that conversation with your sister too tonight?
No, I gave up on the conversation. I left before I said anything stupid like I did already.
So it really, but then who's going to determine all this stuff? Like who's going to determine it? It's case by case basis. I think we've decided.
Want to make money?
Beaners could stay. What?
I think Twitter is going to determine.
Just we're letting the cancel culture. We're just letting all the just punks decide because they got to get more Twitter followers.
Okay, but why does anyone care if a brand changes their name or logo?
Why does anyone care? I
Because
mean,
them libtards keep changing everything.
yeah, I know.
I may not. You may not like the reason they're doing it, but why do you care? It's still the same product. You buy it or you don't.
My heritage.
Yeah,
Isn't that
what are you
why?
talking
Isn't that
about?
the argument?
Absolutely.
I don't really know.
Absolutely. That's the reason. It's
I
America.
mean, if a crappy syrup is part of your heritage, you have a crappy heritage.
First of all, they're changing Mrs. Butterworth too, and that's my
Are they?
favorite.
I was wondering.
No.
That's what I had on my
Mrs.
list.
But here's the thing. Who cares about the bottle it's in? I drink the syrup out of a jar. I don't really care. Like, I don't care what they name it. It's fat syrup. I want it. I don't care what they name it.
Oh my God, I want Eggo so bad.
Eggos. It's the worst. It's the worst kind of breakfast food. Eggos. Get out of here.
I want it.
All right.
I
Let's.
can't eat Eggos anymore because the last time I popped on a toaster, it sounded so good, and I went to eat it, and it was freaking freezer burnt, but I didn't know till after I put it in my mouth. That was the
You're
worst.
supposed to cook it first.
I've done that before where
You can still taste freezer burn when it's cooked.
it just
I guess I just eat my food too
I did that
fast. I
before
don't get the freezer burn.
where I've had bad experiences with the food and then I can never eat it again just because of the bad experience I had. Like my mom used to make, or she still does, probably the best Alfredo, chicken Alfredo, and it was amazing. But once she learned the recipe, we freaking would use it all the time and eat it all the time, and then you just got tired of it. I'm like, I can't eat. See,
I can't relate to that. I used to have spaghetti at least once a week for dinner growing up, and I still love me some spaghetti.
I had I ate Taco Bell Mexi Melts. Those were my favorites, and then I got the stomach flu one time right after I ate there, and I can still to this day I can't.
That wasn't the stomach flu. That's just natural reactions.
Right.
No, because I ate them
Taco
all
Bell
the time,
food.
and then I ended up with the stomach flu.
Which I think I speak for everyone on here, though. If Andrew's mom wants to make chicken Alfredo again, I will take some.
Yes.
You know what
And
else I
also-
can't eat because I got sick? Tequila.
Oh.
You don't
It took
eat tequila,
alcohol
you
poisoning
drink
for
it.
me.
I think everyone's got an alcohol that they just had a bad experience with. They just can't take anymore. Yours is why tequila?
It's not actually. It's brandy. I cannot do brandy. I was just kidding about the tequila, but I really truly cannot drink brandy.
Did you have any experience with it?
I had alcohol poisoning terribly, and I ended up not passed out, but sleeping, and then every time I woke up, I threw up. For it was Super Bowl Sunday. It was the night before Super Bowl Sunday, and I slept through the entire Super Bowl, like all the way into the next day. I thought I was going to die. It was awful.
Tifa, what's your alcohol that you can't drink anymore?
Mine is literally tequila. On 2 separate occasions, I have drank either almost the entire bottle or the entire bottle of Jose Cuervo Gold. I had the first time I drank all but 2 shots. Woke up the next morning, no hangover, right as rain.
Mm-hmm.
Then the next time, I drank the entire bottle in one night, doing shots. Apparently, I was the only one doing shots of the Jose Cuervo, and those last 2 shots I didn't do the first time are apparently what do it to you. Because I had alcohol poisoning, I swear, for like 2 weeks. There is still a desk in the first office that I worked at when I moved here to Toledo that I put together while I was under this whole agony of the alcohol poisoning. In the office that it's barely holding the weight of the computer, and if the employee puts their weight on it, it will
Then
just
it
collapse the
collapses,
whole thing.
just like mine.
It'll just collapse. It is being held together by Elmer's glue and God's good graces.
What about you,
Jesus.
Jake? What's your alcohol?
Please.
No,
He's like rookies.
I know, right?
No, honestly, like I'm not a big vodka fan. Like I do get headaches from that. But honestly, if I drink too much of anything, my allergic reaction is I break out in handcuffs.
What about you, Sugar? Did you have a bad experience with alcohol that you won't take anymore?
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, green apple pucker, which I don't even think they make anymore.
They do.
And oh God, and Jägermeister. Oh,
Those are both horrible on a regular day.
yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
a Jaeger
can't
bomb
do
is
it.
awesome.
All right, let's do this. Let's take a quick break, and then Gina, why don't we get to some comments if you have any? This portion of the
Sure.
show brought to you in part by Twice But Nice Resale Shop. Buying and selling baby equipment, toys, books, outerwear, clothes, formula, diapers, and more. It's where Josie gets all her clothes from. Is Twice But Nice. They are great for your family's needs. They also have clothing for boys and girls 0 to 16 and have a Planet Fashion, which is a teen and adult section in the store. DMX Lawn and Landscape.
Y'all gonna make me mow your lawn up in here.
Yes, it's a local lawn service. They do a great job.
I'm
They
such
do
a
our
good
lawn.
rapper.
You are great. And by Extreme Class Limo. Toledo's limo company, limo guy, who's also grocery guy, and he's also errand guy. So he'll do anything for you. Just look up limousines, extreme class limousines in Toledo. Gloss and Glam by Julianne, your lip sense distributor.
Good job. Proud of you.
Lip sense distributor. They do all Colleen's makeup. So if you need makeup done, hit Colleen up and she can hook you up. Interior design, specializing RCI interior design, which is specializing in residential, small commercial, senior living, interior design. RCI interior design. All right, Gina, you got any comments or anyone you would say hi to or anything?
I want to first start by saying Angie and Mama Judy love my pigtails, so you can shut your pie hole. Cheryl said "damn Andrew" at some point, which
who knows what that's
who knows?
It could be for anything.
Georgia's got
like
Patrick Star up there. Ashley said she did try to call.
I know. I just fired I didn't have the phone. I had to reboot the computer.
That's all right. You're not missing any dynamite comments.
Angie, where do you work? She's making pancakes at work tomorrow. We got to know that now. Where Angie Klotz works. Anyways, Ashley says everyone's being hurt and needs to stop so we don't repeat history, and be kind to all. Education people. I think if we have books, we don't really need syrup containers and stuff, and we don't need to name.
You get rid of Aunt Jemima, it's slavery in 2 weeks. Okay. It's just the
all
way it
downhill
works.
from there. Which
I
everybody's
just need a bottle of syrup that has a set of boobs on it so I can reflect at breakfast how I've gone wrong in my life.
He's licking the syrup bottle. They're like, has it been that long? No, I
need
spilled
female
the syrup.
contact by any means necessary.
I didn't know this. Georgia says so. Bowser High School used to be the Rebels, and they had an actual like Confederate flag rebel on a horse.
Yeah. Oh.
And up until like last year, as far as I know. But she said they're going to change their mascot from the Rebels to the Battlehawks, which I really like that. That's kind of bad. That like the Battlehawks, like
yeah.
That's
like that
kind of savage, you know?
Yeah, no, I agree.
It sounds like It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia solution.
You know what the issue in Perrysburg, everyone's worried about in Perrysburg? Everyone's freaking out about the Commodore Perry statue in Uptown. They're like,
do you remember when somebody put a big old dildo on that during a parade?
That was amazing.
Noticed it for weeks.
Do they know that Commodore Perry didn't fight for the Confederates? Maybe I feel like Perrysburg's failing in their school system or something.
Well, they want another
They've
levy.
got a plaque and everything.
I think they want another levy too. I don't understand. Maybe. Well, but here's the problem: is there are a lot of white wigs going down that were even on the north side. It's just if you just white wigs, like because in the old days they wore those white powder wigs, and if there's a statue of you, it really doesn't matter who you are. In some cases, it's coming down.
Yeah, like in one place they tore down a statue of I forget who it was, but he was an abolitionist. Like he fought to do away with slavery, and they tore him down
because he wore a white wig.
They all look the same in those statues. They all have the same powdered wig.
You can't say we all look the same, Gina. That's
statuist.
Every single person that they all look like George Washington and Thomas Jefferson.
Yes,
all of them do.
It's true.
Everyone.
Well, they even pulled down a Lincoln statue. It's going too
Here's
far.
the inherent bias of the
He
system.
looks a little different.
That's what I'm saying. But they pulled down a Lincoln statue. He was on your side. He's probably the greatest person on your side in the history of the country.
So be careful when you say on your side and they pulled down, because do you know who pulled it down? Because a lot of times we're saying they and all that, and it's white folks that are just running in and tearing shit up, and I don't even know why.
And Lincoln,
it's like running in.
Well, they is the protester. When I think they, like they, the protesters.
Well, I think we've talked about this. I think, but there's different groups. There's the protesters, there's the rioters and looters, and then there's the I can't remember what the other category.
Bugaloo.
And then there's the extremists. The Boogaloo.
What a dumb name! Who picked that name?
The Boogaloos. So Trump is trying to demonize, of course, Antifa and the crazy on the left, but this Boogaloo gang is a real deal. It's so stupid.
What? I just don't understand the name. Why would you pick that name? I'm laughing at you.
Because they're gonna hate it.
They killed a cop in Oakland.
What?
That's not funny.
In the fog of protesters trying to pin. They're like, we're going to go get them. We're going to take out whoever we can because they're going to blame it all on the protesters. And these Boogaloo guys, which are, for those who don't know, those the far right. FBI and all they call them the alphabets, the FBI, the CIA, all those say it's 10 times worse that these guys are than anything on the radical left as far as violence.
I don't know that they're necessarily far right though, because I think they're more like anarchists. I don't think they're
anarchist.
either.
I don't know. And maybe you might be right. I don't know. But
is there a theme song, The Electric Boogaloo?
I don't know. All right.
Yeah, it's like the Grand Adventure 2 Electric Boogaloo. Like, who names their freaking extremist group?
The Boogaloo.
After...
It's so cute. Like a cute name.
There's some guy like Marv in Home Alone, like, we're the Wet Bandits.
Gotta have a signature.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm thinking we've taken too long to acknowledge the new person in the room.
I know, right? I'll do it right now.
I know. Hello, Elise. I keep watching you laugh at my jokes. Thank you.
I know she's so sweet. Elise Roloff is here. She's joining us. She's one of the co-organizers of a protest that's going to be coming up. Hi, Elise. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you guys?
Good. Now, Elise.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, thank you for agreeing to come in and be part of this craziness. So I know you're organizing. Tell us a little bit about what you're doing, what your event is.
So I am a co-organizer of a Black Lives Matter peaceful protest in Northwood. I grew up in Northwood. I went to Northwood High School. And I, after college, I went to Kent State and I moved to Chicago. And obviously Chicago is so much more liberal and progressive. And so I was kind of like, maybe we could try and do this in Northwood. I don't really know. And I kind of just posted on Facebook and was like, does anybody want to try and do a Black Lives Matter protest in Northwood? And people were like, yeah. And I was like, oh, I didn't really think anyone was actually going to do this. So, yeah, that's what we're doing. It's this Friday. We're meeting at Northwood Schools now at 4:30. And, yeah, then we will march ourselves over to the Northwood Police Department. And hopefully Trump supporters don't come and terrorize us.
Let me ask you a question.
Those three cops aren't going to know what to do.
I know, right? Now, Lisa, are you African American?
Yes, I'm mixed. My mom is white and my dad is black.
Okay. Did you experience racism when you grew up in Northwood?
Yeah, I did actually. I think it's kind of interesting. So one thing that I was kind of inspired by in trying to start this was because I actually saw a lot of people that I went to high school with. I feel like I've seen them throughout these years and in this time really like learn and grow and understand what Black Lives Matter means. And so I was just inspired because it's the same people who would say, oh, you know, Elise, you're black. Elise, like I was made fun of all the time for my hair and, you know, just like, and it was from people who were closest to me, like girls I cheered with on the cheerleading team and all that. And I think in high school, I was afraid and I wasn't really aware that it was like microaggressions or racism. I just was like, oh, it's my friends. They're trying to be like.
That's what I was going to ask you because we'll kid our friend, I'll kid my friends. And say things that I probably wouldn't say in public or to another person that I didn't know. Yeah. So at the time you didn't know it was racism. Did you move away and then realize, oh wow, or did it kind of feel weird, or were you okay because it was your friends, or walk us through that?
Yeah, I mean, so I don't know. Are you guys all familiar with like what a microaggression is?
Yeah, thanks to South Park.
Okay, it's like a microaggression is basically like it's something small that could be like racism or any kind of hurtful thing towards you. And in the moment, you might not even really think anything about it, but you kind of feel a little weird. And then after a time, you have more and more microaggressions and it builds up and you're like, wait, this isn't right. So yeah, I feel like at first I was really confused. I was like, you know, I mean, I was like ashamed. Like I would when I was a freshman in high school, I would straighten my hair every single day or every week because I didn't want to get made fun of for having curly hair. And then when I would straighten my hair, then people would say, you have frizzy hair. And it was like, oh yeah, I do have, like, you know, I do have frizzy hair and maybe some other girl has frizzy hair. And, you know, just like like literally people would be like Blackie or like Elise Froloff, which actually that one is kind of funny to me still. That one I'm not mad about. But yeah, I mean, I feel like, and also it is one thing being a Black person or a mixed person and growing up in like a white community, you kind of don't really understand why it's wrong until unless you are like aware of your Black culture or, you know, just why that's wrong. I feel like I am close with my Black family, but I felt like not until I went to college did I really realize why that was an issue and like why it actually upset me.
So you knew when you were in high school, you knew it just felt weird when you think back, maybe not even in the moment, but you think back later that afternoon or whatever, and you feel weird. It's not till you went away to college and you're like, oh wow, that was microaggression. Oh wow, that was really racism, and I didn't even really know. I didn't know the label to put on it at the time, but now I do know. Got you. It's interesting because the small towns. I think that maybe African Americans, because there aren't many of them, that they do have issues, because there was a girl that just wrote a really big article on Perrysburg schools in the Perrysburg Messenger Journal, the local paper, and she was an African American girl that went to Perrysburg High School, and she experienced a lot of racism, and so I'm sure that happens in little towns all over, especially when you're really the minority, where it's like two or three, like my ex-wife, she says, she grew up in Appleton, Wisconsin, which is all white. She's like, I remember the two Black people that were in the school. It was blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. So I'm sure that you felt kind of a little bit of that as well.
One of 5 Black kids in my probably entire high school. The only Black girl on the cheerleading team. You know, like the choreographers used to be like, can you dance? We'll put you in the front. And I was like,
because that's a
that's
a great definition of it right there.
Right.
Was it one of the shows that I push people towards, and I know it sounds ridiculous, but to get an example, is the Everybody Hates Kris. Because they do a really good job when he's he's going to the good school, the all white school on there, and just how the assumptions everybody makes about him. Like they make him join the basketball team with like he blatantly tells him them no, and they're like nah, and they pass him a basketball. He's like, you're joining.
Did you remember that movie? Was it White Man You Can't Jump? What was that? Was that with wasn't it
Woody Harrelson and Wesley Snipes?
Woody Harrelson, where he's like, he's in the hotel room. He's like, man, we don't have any money left, blah, blah, blah. And then they went and played basketball, and the Black dude couldn't play basketball. He's like, you didn't tell me you couldn't play basketball.
Yes, I was definitely told a lot in my life that you'd be a great basketball player, Lise. And I was like, I don't know how to dribble.
No, I wouldn't be. I'd be terrible at it, actually.
Right?
Yeah, like literally, I was so bad at it. So yeah, I don't know. I think there was definitely a lot of just, you know, assumptions about me, and just, you know, it's also just me and my friends talk about this a lot. There's also a whole nother level of understanding racism as a mixed person, because you have white family and you have so many white friends, and like, you are white, but you are also Black, and it's kind of hard to like, you know, be like, I am right here right now, I'm supporting like the Black community, but also I'm understanding of the white community, not understanding in them being racist, but understanding in them maybe not understanding what this is about, or not understanding their privilege, or not understanding like this racism. So it's kind of, I feel like a little bit stretched in both ways.
She's the Caucasian whisperer.
Gracious than I am, because I'm not giving
my friends will just be like, fuck that, like, no, don't even explain, just cut them off. And I'm like, no, but I feel bad. Like, yeah.
But here's the thing, Elise, and I want to play on that, and you tell me if I'm right or wrong. But if maybe they didn't even know what they were doing. It's like, you know, they didn't know that they were. So you can't. I mean, you know them. You hung out with them every day. I can't say whether they did it purposely or not on purpose. But you know if they did or not. So maybe you can give them a pass, because you were with them for 4 years or 6 years or 8 years or however long you were with them. So you know the ones that were trying to do it to get under your skin, and the ones that were just going to do doing it because they thought you were friends and they were joking and kidding you and doing that. And you have to. So would you say there's some of both that was going on looking back?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's interesting. There's girls who, definitely said racist or, racist things to me and now have mixed kids. And I'm like,
Whoa.
Quite interesting. I hope no one ever treats your children the way you treated me.
Wow. Yeah. Now,
But
have you? No, you said you
Talk
stay.
about going the opposite direction.
Right.
You stay in touch with them. The ones that were being racist, that you think were being racist. Have you able to have a conversation with any of them and say, dude, why were you like that? Or you were hurting my feelings or anything, or have you just cut them off, or how's that happen?
it's
Burn
kind
down
of
their
like,
car.
It's
Yeah, right.
I wish. No, it's kind of like I don't know. I feel like it's part of me does kind of be like, why were you like that? But then also part of me is kind of like, I understand that you're from a small white town. You never met another black girl.
Mm-hmm.
You honestly were just uneducated on, that doesn't make it right, but like, I kind of get that.
Sure.
And it's kind of almost like just such a, now I kind of almost feel like it's so like far removed from my life now. Like now I live in Chicago. I have so many different friends. I have gay friends. I have, Asian friends. I have whatever. And it's like, why am I hung up on the girls that I cheered with from high school? Not specifically.
Right. Well, I loved how you were so put together. You really have it together. Like you get it. You're not going to let that get you down. You're not afraid of it, but you're not going to let it get you down. And you're okay going back to it because you know where it's coming. You're just a smart person. You can tell. Jake, go ahead.
I like you. You're a fun pumpkin.
I know you're a fun pumpkin. Look at that, Elise, a fun pumpkin.
I have a degree in public relations, so I think that basically I just know.
Yes, you do. Go ahead, Jake.
Now, what year did you graduate?
What year did I graduate from Northwood?
Yeah.
2013.
Oh, never mind. I was gonna say I used to hang out with a bunch of Northwood people back in the day. I was gonna see if any of them was the assholes.
So wait, is Northwood a high school in Perrysburg?
No, it's over by me and Gina's hometown of Genoa.
Yeah,
It's
its
actually
own town.
a high school in Northwood.
Yeah.
Dude, I gotta tell you. I gotta tell you my.
I am not from here, and I've been too afraid to ask him. Like, where's Northwood?
I gotta tell you
So
my.
it's pretty close. It's actually we're like bordering like the east side. So
Yeah.
I gotta
bordering Oregon.
Gotcha.
I gotta tell you my Northwood story. This is how
It's about the Mexican restaurant.
This is how
Hang up on you.
This is how a small town it was, and they have nothing to do. So my wife and I ran a Mexican restaurant for 1 year, exactly 1 year, and we had.
Me and Kris did some shows there.
Yes, you did, and we had those, those orange flags that were like different color ones. The orange flags that you string outside to bring some attention or whatever, and you know what I'm talking about? They're different colors. So.
Yeah.
They said that you couldn't put those, you couldn't have those up. We had to take those down, and I didn't want to take them down, and we had like a big weekend coming up or whatever. So I kept them up for the weekend. They put out a warrant for my wife's arrest because she kept the flags up. She had to turn herself into the police station and pay like a $350 ticket in Northwood because she hung flags on the outside of the restaurant. Go ahead, Jake.
So there's an overpass right before Northwood High School, and it goes over, I think, 280 right there, right? And this is when I lived in Genoa, and I was driving home from something. It was like early morning, and the sun was blaring right in my eyes, and I rear-ended a woman right at the top of the overpass. And these two Northwood cops were at the same intersection, so they saw everything that happened. And he comes and he whips around, and he pulls me over, and he goes, we saw everything. You can't deny that you were in there. I go, well, I think the fact that my front end is still up her ass end proves the point that I did it, considering I'm still in the car. And he got so mad at me for saying that, he immediately pulled me out of the car and wrote me a ticket.
Dude, they take themselves way too over serious, especially in the police station.
I was like, I'm sorry, I wasn't trying to deny it. You just immediately assumed I was going to deny.
Well, it's Northwood. It's not like they get murders in like epic bank robberies. They get rear-ended grandmothers, so they
And
have to
orange
take
flags.
it hard.
And orange flags.
And orange flags.
Go ahead, Gina.
All right?
I will say I have never personally experienced any issues with the Northwood Police
Good for
Department, but I have had issues with the Walbridge Police Department.
It's the
That's
same
even
thing.
smaller.
Yeah,
it's even
smaller
Okay, now
against
where's
the
Walbridge? I'm so confused
Right
now.
next door. Right next door. Go ahead, Gina.
Okay.
Well, Elise was in the middle of telling her Walbridge story, so I
Yeah, I
didn't
need
wanna
to know that
interrupt her.
story.
Oh, I was just saying they'll pull you over.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Miles.
So I have two.
gotcha.
that
Northwood-
was it. That was it. It wasn't a
I
story.
have two Northwood stories. My first one is I got pulled over on the same overpass Jake rear-ended because there's only like one area he could possibly be talking about.
Yeah.
And I got pulled over for speeding, and it was pouring down rain. And the Northwood cop comes up and he says, has the flashlight all shining in my face, and he says, "You picked a really bad night to get pulled over." And I said, "Well, you can go back to your car and we can try it again another time." And he did not think that was funny. Not funny. Don't joke with Northwood Police. I don't know if he's still there or not. If he is, he gave me a ticket and it was pretty pricey. So whatever.
No.
So,
Ridiculous.
so there's that one. But the other thing, fun fact, Jake, Elisa's mother is Summer Roloff, who
No
graduated
kidding.
with me, and her aunt is Sarah Roloff. So
My
yes.
other aunt is Ashley Roloff.
And Ashley, yes.
Oh my
So-
god! And
No
she's
shit.
and she's related to the roll-offs on TLC.
Wait.
The little
Literally,
people.
do you know what I call my family? I call my family the Kardashians of Ohio.
So Jake,
You know
you
me
couldn't
and my
have
mom
put
is Kim.
you couldn't have put 2 and 2 together based on her last name.
Okay, so listen, the whole time I'm looking at the last name roll off and I'm going, maybe I knew the roll offs from Genoa, but like I was like, maybe they're a cousin or something. I don't know. And I guess like when she said graduated in 2013, I guess that would have made sense for her to be young enough for our generation to be have those kids.
Yeah,
now,
so
I
you're-
guess.
you're
I
dead-
look exactly like Summer.
Yeah, you're what? You're like 25?
25.
25? So you're in a way different generation. Okay, so what do you think of the Kardashians? I mean, what do you
Good
do?
math
Like,
skills,
what do you do with yourself? Like, what do you do for fun? Are you doing the TikTok? What are you doing?
What's the TikTok?
What do you do in this generation?
Yes.
Well, technically, I think I'm technically a millennial, but
Uh-huh.
I feel like I am kind of on the cusp of like Gen Z a little bit because I feel like I relate to a few of those things. I didn't have TikTok for a long time, but then I downloaded it because I applied to a job and I applied with a TikTok.
Oh.
That's a thing.
What?
That's
Well,
a thing.
I applied to a social media position.
Oh,
you.
okay.
Did you get it?
I thought you were like applying at McDonald's and they're like, we need a TikTok video. We need a TikTok.
Absolutely not. Absolutely.
TikTok. Instead
All right, I'm going to ask you the very important
Wait.
age-related question that we need to
hold
know.
on. Hold on. Instead of resumes now, everyone's just got to. That's how you get jobs. With, hey, can I see your TikTok?
No, I mean, I submitted a TikTok and my resume.
Good girl.
But I was just hoping the TikTok would
Yeah,
start
it'd be
getting
outside of the
somewhere,
box.
and they'd be like, "Oh, you're great at social media."
Yeah,
but
no, absolutely. I'm just messing with you. All right,
So
go ahead,
I-
Tiefel.
So, the very important age question that we all need to know the answer to: do you know who Dennis the Menace is, and would you
Oh,
get
God.
Menace
Oh, my
to the
God.
show?
wait,
Jesus Christ.
Gina told me about this, and I was watching the other video the other day with you guys. Here, I'll talk about that in a minute.
God, all right.
Yes, I know the comic
Mhm.
from the
Thank you.
paper because my great grandparents used to read it to me.
Newspaper, my
And
great
great-grandparent.
My
Great
Newspapers
grandparent.
still exist. They're not like it's an ancient
do.
thing.
She said great grandparents.
I know.
Okay.
My
Exactly.
great grandparents used
She
to
still knows it.
All
It still
right.
counts. That's
I've
me.
seen the
Settle-
movie. I've seen the movie.
Settle down, Chris. All right, so your protest is this Friday?
This Friday, 4:30. We're meeting at Northwood Schools, and then we're walking over to the Northwood Police Department, and then we have a little route throughout Northwood. It's obviously open to anyone in the area. You do not have to live in Northwood to come. I'm just trying to get as much awareness as we can. I just think this is I think there's a lot of really, there's a lot of like protests happening right now in these really small Ohio towns.
Yeah.
So I think
it's a great idea. If you can take it to these little towns, those are the ones you have to flip. Go ahead, Gina.
I think this is super important to say, Elise. If you don't mind, I'm going to jump in on this a little bit. Elise is extremely, and her co-organizers are extremely adamant that there will be zero violence here. If that's what you're doing, stay home. don't come. And I'm 95% I'm sure I'm going to be there. So if I see anybody acting stupid, Elisa's going to come get me, and I'm going to bounce you.
Oh, don't
like
worry.
it's that simple.
Northwood cops that'll make their day. They want someone.
Are you going to be wearing those pigtails?
I will. I can.
I love those pigtails.
I can rock the pigtails. But yeah, it's like Elise. I think my kids and I are going to come out and hang out with you. Everybody bring a sign, bring something to drink. If you're bringing alcohol, put it in a water bottle so they don't know. And
God bless.
and do not make this messy, because this is a beautiful thing that this beautiful young lady is putting together. And don't make this messy, because I'll be pissed.
All right.
And Northwood cops haven't been able to use their riot gear that they bought
They're
yet.
so excited. I know.
It's still shiny and new and has that new protester smell.
When there's only 3 of them, is it just like a rye? Do we have to go full riot?
Oh my God.
No, they're bringing the wall bridge in for backup. The wall bridge.
No. They'll drop the R 1047 IoT. We'll sponsor it.
Yeah. Sugar Vermont, go ahead.
No, at least I want to say I think what you're doing is amazing, and I look up to people like you who can organize these peaceful protests. It's awesome. I would love to join in, but here's the thing: I don't march.
I got a wheelchair, Sugar. I'll push you.
Now
Can
if
she
you want to
follow
push me
in
around
an
in my moo-moo, baby.
Can she follow in an air-conditioned car?
These boots were not made for walking, honey.
Parade.
She's trying to answer. She's trying to answer seriously.
Go ahead, Elise.
It's okay. We haven't updated it on the Facebook page yet, but we have very much considered and are probably going to also do a following like car caravan, because there are people who actually cannot walk or might be afraid.
So not people like me who are just fat and lazy.
Here's
I don't need to know why you're in the car.
Okay.
Here's what we're gonna do, Sugar. I'm gonna let you drive my 15-passenger van, and you can follow. That way, if people need to jump in, and now you have a reason to be there, and you're supporting it, and you don't have to walk. There you go.
Oh, and we could fill it up with water and snacks and stuff if we need to.
I will totally do that.
I will
I love it. I'll be there in my moo-moo.
I'll donate my van.
At least I'll take care of organizing these yahoos, because I don't know if they're serious or not. But if they are, then I'll organize the yahoos, and if not, then I will bring my. I'm not bringing. My car is a mess, so I can't have that.
You can use the van. Go ahead, use the van. I don't care. All right, let's get into some Hollywood news. You can jump in, Elise, if you want. Machine Gun. You know who Machine Gun Kelly is, right? The rapper.
Of course, I do. Lace up.
Well, now he's in love. Him and Megan Fox have got this thing going on. We talked about she was going out with the 90210 guy, and then they were together. Brian Austin Green. They were together for a long time. But now Megan Fox and Machine Gun Kelly are a thing. So there you go. She's older though than him, I think. Let me look.
So her and Brian Austin Green split up?
Yeah, remember there was some. Anyway, they did. She's 34. Kelly is.
I know Brian Austin Green's like your age, I think.
Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, he's 30. So she's 34. He's 30. So she was younger with Brian Austin Green then. Okay. So anyway, so they're together, but they look like so miserable. Like they don't look fun. Like they're not smiling in any of the pictures. They're so much angst.
Would you be smiling if you were getting your picture constantly taken by strangers?
Yes.
Would you be smiling if you're dating Machine Gun Kelly?
No, I wouldn't. All right, so we have the scoop on why Kelly Clarkson and Brandon Blackstock got divorced. We told you they got divorced on June 4th, they're going through the process on irreconcilable differences. Well, now it turns out that the split, it just came out of nowhere. Their marriage was so strong, a source says. Apparently, the time the family spent in quarantine did not help any of the relationship trouble they were already having. It was a stressful time, exacerbated by the issues. They said they've been like that for a while, that they just haven't been getting along. And it was the quarantine that kind of just put the nail in the coffin.
Quarantine did it.
Like, quarantine divorce.
Spend time with you.
Well, the
now I have to spend time with you. Turns out I don't like you.
Exactly. I remember my ex's my ex's father. Yeah. So he was a over the road salesperson his whole life, 30 years or whatever. And he never wanted. He didn't want. Now he retired. He's like, man, I wish I could have gone back on the road. Being at home is, when you're home 7 days a week, 24/7. It's different than when you're home, 3 or 4 nights a week.
Yeah, More awesome.
Well, it depends. You're going to find out it's either more awesome or sucks really bad.
Hey, Andrew, look at me. I've done the 7 days. It's awesome.
All right. Actor Danny Masterson, best known for the 70s show. That 70s show, and I never watched that 70s show, so his
Which
character.
one? I love that show, but which one is he? Because I don't.
He was the
He's
curly haired
He
guy.
had the
Oh, okay.
fro.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Tifa.
He was fantastic in the ranch, by the way.
What was his name on the
Hyde.
show? Hyde.
His character was the best one in the ranch.
Well, he has been charged with rape. The actor maintains his innocence, but he was.
This is why he was dismissed from the ranch during the allegation.
Oh, that's right.
And he's a Scientologist.
3 women.
Yeah.
Yes.
3 women
And
between.
it was women in Scientology. He raped too, and there's this whole thing.
Oh.
Scientology helped cover it up. This is not a conspiracy. You can Google it.
Okay. All right, settle down, sugar.
He's like, there are no lizard people involved.
No,
There probably are lizard people involved, if we're being honest, but just like also Scientology.
Okay.
I'm scared of Scientology. Like, I have no reason to be scared of
I know,
Scientology
right?
Because I'll never encounter them.
Right.
But I'm scared of them because they're the only organization I know that has beaten the IRS. All right? The
Right.
IRS
But
took
that
down
was like-
Capone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have
1980
enough money to
Scientology,
be
though.
in. I don't have enough money to be a Scientologist. I'm poor folk.
Now here's the thing, Elise. I know you have to be a Joe. You have to be into the Joe Bros, right? Don't you have to be in the Joe
That
Bros?
was my first concert.
You what?
That was my first concert, Jonas Brothers.
Yes, I remember when I was on.
I had no idea who you were talking about when you said
Yeah.
Joe's Bros. I was like, who
I was
the hell
like,
is
Joe
Joe's
Bros?
Are you serious right now? God, you guys are old.
They don't have
Yeah.
kids, Andrew.
No,
That's, apparently,
Jonas-
that's
The
my thing
Jonas
I
Brothers
learned today.
formed when I was a kid. They're married and have kids of their own.
You know what? I forget though. Tifo is pretty young. Like because he looks so old that I forget that he's only like 30.
6.
What? 36? Oh, he's not that young. But the voice
Younger than you.
The voice just announced that Nick Jonas is going to replace him. His fans are not happy about that.
Replacing who?
Wait, who?
Nick Jonas is going on the Voice beginning in the believe it or not. So the 19th season.
Replacing
Who's
who?
he replacing?
I'm looking. God.
Well, he's
it
been in the
better not
music
be Adam
industry for
Levine.
like the past 25 years, so he knows a thing or two.
Let's see.
So does this mean that there's no more Jonas Brothers songs? Because that's really all I care about.
Didn't they just get back together as a group?
Yeah, they did just get back together. Okay, so it's going to be Blake Shelton, John Legend, Kelly Clarkson are staying put. Gwen Stefani shared that she would be returning to the Voice show periodically as a coach. So I guess
So no more Adam Levine?
Adam Levine's been gone. This is like it'd be his second or third season gone.
Okay, well I definitely haven't watched The Voice since the first season.
Apparently not. All right.
So he's just joining. I like that. I dig it. He's not happy about
they
that.
mix him in. They kind of mix him in. I think I don't know. I think they kind of push Christina Aguilera out a little bit. Oh, remember CeeLo? Remember CeeLo?
You
at the
will
beginning?
not.
CeeLo with his tiny hands or his tiny arms.
I love CeeLo.
I know. Mama June Boo Boo admits that
Yes.
admits to using $2,500 worth of meth a day, and she said they were broke.
Bitch.
Yeah, she's
Bitch. That's
Dude,
And how much of that did she share with the little one?
none, dude. She was they were like I watched because she's got a show now like becoming Mama June or something, and I got stuck on the channels. You know how they run episode after episode, so I watched like 6 episodes and
Stuck. You left the remote. You were left the remote on the recliner when your fat ass was on the couch.
He
That's what you
couldn't
had.
reach the remote.
I'm not a Jedi.
I know. I tried to will it over to me. It wouldn't come. But anyway, so she started selling like the furniture and stuff from the house, like of the kids, like even Boo Boo, Honey Boo Boo. They started selling all their crap because she was
Selling
on
the kids'
drugs.
furniture or the kids?
No,
Well, she was already
She already
selling Honey
sold the
Boo
kid.
Boo.
Yeah, that's how she got famous, was selling Honey Boo Boo. Nick Cannon on former wife Mariah Carey, quote, "I can't hold a candle to that woman." He says,
Not wrong.
I'm not one of these people.
Okay.
I'm not one of these people who have fans that fantastical level fandemonium type of thing. They may be people who are fans of aspects of my career or certain projects, but I don't have fans. I've never appreciated as wanting that level of admiration. But they said his wife, or his ex-wife rather, Mariah, has like crazy rabid fans. She's amazing.
I just don't understand why those two don't get back together. Like there's no possible way they're not still
because he's old enough to be her son.
But they have kids together though,
Yeah,
so it doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah, but isn't she remarried again?
No, I don't think either one of them. Neither one of them got remarried.
Yeah, and then he's always around. Like they're always hanging out together.
Maybe
and
they
stuff as a
secretly
family.
are back together. Maybe they
I think
secretly
they
are,
are.
but they just don't want the paparazzi in your business.
It's possible.
I totally believe that.
All right, so those are some of the stuff going on in Hollywood. All right, so Elise, this Friday we will see you out there in Northwood. What time? 4:30.
4:30. If you want to make a sign beforehand, we'll be there at 3:30 making signs.
Projects.
So you don't even have to come prepared with a sign.
Look at that.
Like,
This is Sugar's jam right here. She doesn't have to
Okay,
walk.
I'm
She doesn't
like,
have to come
Are you
prepared.
bringing the glitter?
Yeah.
True, guys. It's gonna be great and nonviolent.
Well, you are.
And nonviolent.
Yes.
You are an absolute sweetheart. Are you single? You married? What's your deal?
Single.
He's not hitting on you.
No,
if
no,
he
no.
was, I'd fight him.
Single? And no.
I'm very single, but I very much live in Chicago. So
Yeah, but,
So settle
I got a
down,
car.
Northwood people.
but there's got to be a lot of guys in Chicago. Why are you single?
Now you're in her business. It's 10:02. Now you're trying to get personal. Jesus.
Jesus.
the dating of my generation is Tinder and Hinge and
They all want to bang on the first date.
By the way,
right?
when you get to 40, it's the same thing.
So, dudes,
I'm over it. I don't understand. I want to be like. I have a friend who's like, yeah, there's nothing like being in a bar and you just like lock eye contact with someone and you like no, and I'm like, what?
I love that.
I'm like dude,
Bars are where you
not-
meet serial killers.
That's not a thing either. So I'm not real sure what your friend's talking about.
he's a gamer. So
I've been in a lot of bars. It has never worked out like that.
No, that's because every time Tifo locks eyes with somebody at a bar, they call the police.
I mean, how is this not sexy?
Or a bouncer or run. Oh God.
Jesus.
So, but you sound like you're an older soul, huh? Like you. I don't know. Like you're not in. You're more grown up than probably most people your age. It seems like.
maybe. I
Really?
mean, my roommates could probably say otherwise, but yeah.
Yeah, no, Andrew, she does public relations, so she's really not this put together. She's probably a dumpster fire in real life.
You're right. You're right.
And she knows this is recorded for all of eternity. She's not dumb.
Right?
She probably squeezes the toothpaste from the top.
She knows how to play the game, of course. Well, you've done a great job, Elise. Elise Roloff, thank you for hanging out with us today.
Thank you.
Jake Dickey, thank you so much. Sugar Vermont. Gina,
Anytime.
Southside Gina. Chris Tiefel. I'm Andrew Z. You guys have a great week. We'll see you Friday at the protest. We'll see you Monday back here on the radio. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye, everybody.
Come on!
By the way, this portion of the show brought to you by Memorable Lights. Check them out at memораblelights.us. There you go, Memorable Lights. Bye, you guys.